Beyond the Horizon is extremely special to me because it is the first play of O'Neill's that I ever read, and I remember the circumstances and where I was when I read it for the first time. And that was in ninth grade English class at Memorial High School. It was on the reading list at that time. And I sat in the back corner of a windowless basement room with a friend that I'd made that freshman year, another guy, and we loved Mr. Basie, our language arts teacher, and we both loved that play. And what I remember loving about that play and the hold that it had on me and the impression that it made upon me at that time was, I suppose, it spoke to my romantic side, and it was maybe the first time I thought about identifying with someone who was making an escape, who was thinking of leaving his present circumstances. And I grew up in a very small town in Missouri, and I can't ever remember a time when I didn't want to leave that town. And I had felt maybe alone with that feeling, and this play really alerted to me of, yes, there is a place, beyond this town, beyond this horizon. Like Robert Mayo, I didn't have a plan for getting out, but it spoke to that. So I was hooked by the romance and the suffering of it. Several years later, I did get out. I did leave that town. My friend who I'd made that freshman year was not as fortunate. He ended up going in a different path. He was pretty involved in drugs and other nefarious businesses, and ended up dying in a fire. And I'd lost touch with him. Years later, the play still has a hook on me. And of course, I realize I maybe misread the play entirely when I was a freshman. I see it a bit differently now, but still in personal terms, and really from the terms of maybe someone who got lucky and got out, because I realize in circumstances very much like Robert Mayo's in the play, I might have not gotten out of the town. I might have stayed there through some mistakes in judgment and really a terrible romantic relationship, actually. And by the sheerest amount of luck, I escaped that and moved on and maybe learned something and grew up a little bit. So to me, the play is about dreams and about how fragile they are, how delicate they are, and how easily destroyed they are, not necessarily by someone else, but by one's own betrayal of one's dreams or one's lack of commitment to one's dreams. And so now, looking back all these years, 40-something plus years later, I can still remember that freshman that I was in high school, and I can still remember the good time I had with my friend in that class, and I can still remember Mr. Basie, I think, who left the high school immediately after that year. And having gotten out maybe a little bit, I think how lucky I am and how much I want to make things count after having left in maybe a way that Robert Mayo doesn't get to do, and certainly my friend didn't get to do. So it's a play that still speaks to me, and I hope it will speak to you.